Hey Bestie, it's Lisa. Welcome or welcome back. Today we're going to do all new Dollar Tree wooden pumpkin DIY craft hacks. I can't wait to show you. But first, our word of the day is situationship. Day to the end and find out what that means. For this first project with the Dollar Tree pumpkins, it's going to be a 3-in-1. So you could do 3 separate DIYs, or you could combine them all into one, which is what I'm going to do. So I've got the jack-o'-lantern, the thankful pumpkin, and then the layered pumpkin. I've also got this really pretty silver tile that they sell at Dollar Tree. That's like a sticker back. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of the sticker part, because that will not work with this. Once you cut into one of these tiles, it just doesn't work because it separates. So I'm going to cut off 2 of the sides so that I can get a hold of it. And then I'm just going to literally tear off that sticky part. We literally don't need it. Now I'm going to take a little spatula and I'm going to gently pull off that leaf and the acorn, because I want to save those and use those for another project later. I'm also going to get rid of the thankful word, which I wasn't trying to keep because it's a little bit thin. So I just took it off and made sure there was nothing rough left on there. I'm going to take the pumpkin shape, I'm going to turn it over the backside of the tile and trace around it. And then I'm just going to cut it out, and it cuts very easily with regular scissors, no problem. I love making multi-purpose crafts, like 2-sided or 3 parts or 2 parts or whatever, because it's so fun and you get to do different things. So now that I've got the pumpkin shape cut out, I'm just going to hot glue that piece right on there. I'm going to start at the top because I don't want to misplace it when I set it down and then not be able to move it. So I'll just carefully put the very top part on, and then I'll lift back that tile piece and I'll start doing another section and then a third section till I have the entire piece literally glued right on to the wood. Very easy to do. By the way, you don't have to use hot glue. You could use any glue you want, but I like it to dry very quickly. Now I'm just going to take my scissors and trim around any excess on the sides that might have hung over. And if it's around the stem, you might just need to use a little X-Acto knife. I'm going to take my plaster chalk paint by Waverly, and I'm just going to paint over the tile, and it's just going to look so pretty like this. You'll see when I'm done. You could pick any color actually that you want. Then I'm going to take my antique wax and I'm going to dry brush, so put a little bit on my brush, wipe most of it off and drag it across. And then those raised parts really stand out, and this gives it such a cool kind of antique look. And I'm going to darken the stem. And honestly, you don't have to do that because you're not going to see the stem if you do it as a 3-part DIY. But if it's a solo DIY, you would want to do that stem darker. I'm also going to go around the edges with a stiff brush and just kind of distress that with the antique wax. I love that look, especially on that old-fashioned looking tile. It looks like those tin tiles that you used to see on ceilings back in the day, or if you go any older buildings, especially when you're traveling around Europe, whatever, you see that all the time, and I just love that. And there I am, just making that stem a little bit darker. Now I'm going to embellish all of them after I put them together. Now we'll move on to the second piece. So I've got the jack-o'-lantern. I'm going to go ahead and remove the tag and the hanger. So I'm going to take my pumpkin colored Waverly paint, which is orange. I'm just going to paint that whole pumpkin except the stem and the eyes, nose, and mouth. Very, very easy. Now, once that's done, I'm going to take my ink colored chalk paint by Waverly. I'm going to do the nose, eyes, and mouth. This is just a traditional looking jack-o'-lantern. It's just fun painting. I enjoy that. Now I'm going to take that third pumpkin with the layers. I'm going to take off the tag and the hanger, and I'm going to pry off that little bow. It's just hot glued on there, so you can either heat it up or just kind of shove it off with a spatula. And I'm going to paint that whole pumpkin with the plaster color, because that's what I want it to peek through with what I'm doing to it. Got this pretty mesh decor from Dollar Tree. It's like a ribbon. I'm going to cut 3 pieces because I want this to look a little bit darker orange than what it looks like when there's only one. So now you can see why I painted it with the plaster color, because I wanted you to see the true color of that mesh. So I've cut out the shape of that middle layer that it's got, and I'm going to cut 2 more pieces because when there's 3 of them, it just really picks up that orange color. So now I'm going to lay down some Mod Podge on that center section, and I'm going to put each piece down, add more Mod Podge on the top until I get all 3 pieces adhered right on the top. I love doing all these different and unique things on the pumpkins. It's so much fun. It's like you can try all different styles, all different looks, use up your craft stash, whatever you want. And then there's the last piece. And now you can see how much deeper that color looks. I really, really like it. Hey, Bestie, if you are watching but you're not subscribed yet, I would invite you to do so. It would be such a pleasure to have you here. Now I've got this other mesh ribbon and it's got gorgeous kind of gold leaves on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some Mod Podge down, and I cut a piece that's bigger than the width of the pumpkin. I'm just going to lay it across the center. I love the way that looks. I think it's so pretty with the gold leaves over that. And then we'll turn it over, we'll hot glue it down, and then just so it doesn't start to like fray on the ends, I'm going to put a little bit of masking tape. That kind of ribbon frays very quickly and easily, so that's why I'm doing that. I'm going to add a little more Mod Podge to the top and just try to make sure that that's going to lay flat. I'm going to take my antique wax and I'm just going to paint on the pumpkin stem. This is going to be the top pumpkin in our bigger piece, so you will see that. So now we can start embellishing. So we'll start with the top piece, and I'm going to put these pretty little yellow and green leaves. I'm going to add some other green leaves. I'm going to put a gorgeous little sunflower right in the center there, taking off the extra stems because you won't see them and it just makes it stand up too tall. I'm going to take some pip berries and make some tendrils, wrap them around my fingers, hot glue them up on top there by the leaves. I think that's going to look so pretty. You could embellish this any way you want. Just get creative, use up your stash. That's what I like to do, is just find things I have and get creative, and just it frees up space in my craft room too, which I really like, so I can buy new things. I'm going to add some more leaves, just different colored leaves on there. And then I've got like a little, I think it's a cattail. I call everything that I'm not sure a cattail, if you haven't noticed. And then I'm going to add a hanger because this is the top one. And if we want to add this larger piece, I want to make sure there's a hanger on there. And I'm going to add a little hot glue just to make sure that hanger's on there solid. Now let's take our jack-o'-lantern. We'll put that pretty top pumpkin on, put some hot glue. You could also use wood glue if you want to do that. I'm going to secure it on the back, so I'm not too worried about it. And I'm just going to put that one on there. I'm going to add some more hot glue on the back. And then we're going to move on to embellishing in between those two pumpkins. So I'm going to use different leaves for this. These are a darker green, but I thought it looked really pretty next to the orange there. It has a nice little divider between the two pumpkins. I've got some brown and orange sparkly berries I'm going to put there, and then some orange leaves. You know, whatever you've got, literally, just pull it out and see if it looks good. And if it does, add it and just have fun with it. That's the important thing, is enjoy what you're doing. It's a great creative outlet. Now we're going to take the tile pumpkin. We're going to glue that one underneath the bottom of the jack-o'-lantern. Again, I'm using hot glue right now because we're going to reinforce more on the bottom or on the back. Then I'm going to take these gorgeous kind of brownish leaves, and I'm going to put them, because this was a distressed piece anyway, so I thought those leaves looked better there. And I'm going to add a few pine cones and some more of those little pip berries wrapped around just to give it a little more texture. And then I'll glue those down as well. I'm loving how this stacked piece looks. So you can see how it's 3 DIYs, and then I made them all into one by assembling them. So I'm really enjoying this piece, and I love the different look of each pumpkin. You could just have so much fun with that. I'm going to add some more, again, I'll call them cattails. You guys know I don't know what these things are called. Anyway, they're on there. So there's the front. Doesn't that look so pretty? Now we're going to turn it over. I've got some scrap little pieces of MDF or wood, and I'm just going to hot glue them between the seams of each of the pumpkins and give it more stability, especially because it'll be standing up. And if it knocks over in the wind or whatever, you know, I want to make sure that this is going to be stable. I'm going to have this outside by my front porch. And of course, at the end, you won't see it, but off camera, I do spray it with some clear glaze just to seal it in and make sure it's nice for outside. I've got some craft paper we are going to finish off the back because there's so much going on back there that doesn't look pretty. So we're going to go ahead and start at the very bottom. We'll hot glue in sections all the way around these 3 pumpkins with that one large piece of craft paper. And once we get them all on there, off camera, I'm just going to take a blade on a cutting mat. I'm just going to cut off the excess so you won't see it from the front, but the back will be nice and clean and pretty. I can't wait for you to see the finished piece. It came out so beautiful. I love this one. You have to let me know if this is something that you might want to try. So there's the bottom pumpkin first. I wanted to show you a quick close-up of that. Then we're going to move on to the jack-o'-lantern. And of course, we all know what that looks like, but there it is. And then we're gonna look at that top pumpkin, which I think is just gorgeous. It's like we've got a glam, a fun, and a kind of distressed antique look. And now here they are all together. I love this piece. It's so cute. If you wanted to add a little stand, you could. I'm just leaning it, so I'm gonna consider this a leaner. And there it is on my porch with some other pieces. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. For this Dollar Tree wood pumpkin, I'm going to take this layered one, and we're going to get a couple pieces that were on another one that I took off, and this gorgeous multicolored fall looking cord I got at Hobby Lobby on clearance. I'm just going to go ahead and remove the hanger, the tag, and the little bow that was on there. I'm going to paint the whole thing with the white wax by Waverly. All it does is brighten up the wood a teeny bit, but you can still see any wood grain through it, and it just gives it a more even kind of a look. I'm going to take that cord and I'm going to hot glue it around each of those 3 raised pieces that are layered on there. This is going to be very simple and elegant, and I think it just turns out beautiful. It's not going to be too busy. If you want something that's not like ultra farmhouse or ultra, distressed, you just want a nice, clean, fun pumpkin, but it's not too glitzy or, busy, this is a great one for you. If you can find a nice cord like this, I'm sure any of the fabric stores or crafting stores will have something similar. Isn't that beautiful? I wish you could just see those colors in the cords. It's all fall colors mixed. I'm going to take my antique wax and I'm just going to paint the stem of this pumpkin. Again, we're keeping this one very simple. I'm going to paint the acorn and the leaf with that same antique wax, and I'm going to kind of wipe it back a little so you can still see, the little indentations for the leaf and the acorn on there. We're going to hot glue the leaf on first and then the little acorn, just wherever you would like them to be. I'm just putting mine up at the top by the stem. Then I'm going to add just a few small pieces of greenery. I thought that there was green in the cord, so I wanted to bring some of that out. And then these little teeny berries that I had left over from a pick, just going to add these on there just to give it a little more interest. But I'm going to do everything I can not to go overboard in terms of the decor. I'm going to use a furniture marker in the walnut color, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the top of the acorn and the little acorn stem. And then I'm going to do those little lines on the middle, the veins on the leaf. I'm going to do that also just so that you can notice them. Super easy. And this is all optional. You don't have to do any of this if you don't want to. Going to add a little hanger with a piece of rope at the top. This is so simple. Like I said, I'm keeping it just very beautiful, simple, and elegant. I love this one. As much as I love the 3-piece one, this is also a favorite of mine. I'm going to put the knot in the front because I do like that look, and then I'm going to trim off the excess. And there we have a gorgeous pumpkin. I really, really love this one. You have to let me know what you think. And would you like a simple pumpkin like this? This one is just so nice. And now for our word of the day, situationship. It's when you're in more than a friendship, but it's not an actual relationship, and sometimes they're even one-sided. So now you are in the know. Ready for more inspiration? Here's another video I think you'll really like. If you click on it, I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye.